Hello! Tanse Oki, bonjour everybody. Tanse Oki and bonjour. My name is Chantal Chagnon, if you haven't joined me before. I hope you have. But I am very thankful and humbled to be able to share today. I'm always thankful and humbled to be able to share, and in light of recent events, I think it's really, really important that we do share. I think that's our act of resiliency. You may or may not have heard, but there was a mass grave site found in Kamloops residential school. And I wish I could say that I was surprised, but we weren't. So many of people who've been doing the work in the Indigenous community, people who have experienced that intergenerational trauma, that have, elders who are survivors. We know the stories, we've heard the stories, and so it wasn't a shock. It was like ripping off a band-aid more than anything, and just seeing, that it hasn't been treated. This is a part of Canada's history, and it seems like the only time that people pay attention to it is when gruesome discoveries like this happen. And we need to start talking about it as a whole, without, that trauma porn aspect. And I think that's really, it's really difficult for some people to recognize the difference. But it's also important when we look at Canada that the government has said, okay, we're going to invest $1.5 million in uncovering these sites. But what about afterwards? What about those elders that are going to continue to experience this trauma, that will relive a lot of their experiences? What are you doing to help them? There's a lot of elders that didn't step forward during the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, out of fear, out of hurt, out of pain, out of trauma, out of the inability to know how to address it. And so a lot of those settlements also were taken by lawyers. And so I think we need to look at the system as a whole, because the system as a whole is broken. And whenever we see things like this, it just reopens those wounds, and it makes us realize how important it is to come together as a community, how important it is to come together as a society, how important it is to do the work and teach people, on the ground what is happening. And so just to get started, I wanted to just welcome everybody into the circle today. So I am Cree, Anishinaabe, and Métis from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan. For the longest time, I was told I look white, so pretend I'm white. And my kokum had reiterated that. My kokum, his grandmother, so many times, you look white, just pretend you're white. But I never felt whole without honoring who I was as a full being, as a Cree woman, as an Anishinaabe woman, as a Métis woman. And when I started to really delve into those teachings, that's where I found my salvation. That's where I found my healing. And so I honor Muskeg, where my family is from. On my dad's side, there's a lot of trauma and pain as well, but we just don't talk about those things because they are from Quebec. One of the first French settlers ever in Canada, Louis Hébert, was my ancestor. He was the first to ever turn soil. He was an apothecary, so it makes sense with the medicines that I carry and how I'm very drawn to the medicines. But there's a lot of blank spots in our family tree, because in Quebec, if you're Indigenous, you just don't talk about it. Especially during the Métis Rebellion, there was a lot of people who just stopped saying that they were mixed and just said, I'm French, period. And I think we need to really dig into that history as well. And so I feel like I'm carrying two worlds with me, which makes sense with my Métis heritage. And so even though I'm from Muskeg and also from Quebec, I call Mohkinstsis my home. So I'm in Treaty 7 territory in Calgary, and Mohkinstsis has been my home off and on for at least a couple of decades, and I love it here. I always feel at home. I always feel like this is my place of community. This is where my family that I've made is. My mom's here too, so of course she's here too. But it's the connection that I feel within the community here in Mohkinstsis. It's the power of being beside both the river and the Elbow River and the Bow River, and where they come together. There's just a strength there, and whenever I need grounding, I go there for grounding. Whenever I need healing, I go there for healing. In fact, I've been drawn. I'm like, I need to go there. I need to go there with everything that has been happening, with all of the trauma that people have just been sharing with me. And I feel like I just need a place to let it flow, let it go, and stop carrying it with me. I have smudged a lot over the last few days. I'm pretty sure my kids thought my room was on fire. But it's been necessary. It's been really, really important to do the work. And so I just wanted to honor the land upon which we stand and honor that history that I share, that we all share here. I honor the Blackfoot. This is the Blackfoot Confederacy. So I honor the Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Pagani. I honor the Sarsi Dene from Tsutsuna and the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking in the footsteps of Métis Region 3, which is why I proudly wear my Métis sash to act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. Because for so long, we were so separate, but I think it's more important to look at us as a whole. Like, we are all together here in Mohkinstsis. We are all here together on the land. We are connected to the land. We're going to go back to the land when we're done with this earth. And so it's, how do we leave our mark, and how do we honor and connect everyone to this land? And so I wanted to share the Cree Welcome Song because it's just such a beautiful way to begin. And the Cree Welcome Song is from the Natahau family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, and they are kind of on the border of Alberta and Saskatchewan. But every time I sing this song, I feel home. I feel connected. I feel like I'm bringing everyone in, like I'm calling in my ancestors, and it's really carved out my journey, and I'm so thankful and humbled for this song, because for so many generations, we couldn't speak our languages or share our stories or share our songs, and I know that I'm privileged to be where we are now, where we can, and we're starting to bring back those teachings and those ceremonies. We're allowed to smudge, in our own homes or in public, and we're allowed to, share our songs and our stories, because I know that my ancestors had laid that path for me. And so I'm humbled and thankful every time I can share a song, every time a song comes through me, every time a story comes through me, and I'm able to share those stories. And now I'm able to gift it back to community, and I feel like that is my place. That is how I do the work. A friend of mine asked me if I was okay with the news that had come out. And I let her know my healing is by helping other people, is by sharing, is by teaching, is by supporting community. That's how I heal. And everyone heals in different ways. But this song is really about honoring everyone's journey. It's about honoring everybody in the circle, saying that, you're beautiful, you're loved, you're welcome here. And Mia Sin, we sing it in rounds of 3 to keep the circle open and welcoming, so everyone completes the circle today, because in a circle we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end. No one is greater or less than anyone else in the circle, just like in the Hoop of Life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences. Because if everybody was exactly the same, the world would be incredibly boring and nothing would ever get done. So we need those differences to make the world work. We need, everybody's different cultural perspectives. We need everybody to come into the circle with their own voice, with their own views, with their own way to look at the world, with their own gifts and talents. And this is truly what that song represents. And I think now more than ever, we need to support each other in that circle. And so Mia Sin, which is the Cree Welcome Song, it doesn't just mean welcome, it also means beautiful. And I'm going to scooch. I've moved my camera, so I might have to move it again. Mia Sin, Mia Sin, Semina, Semina, Epetakote, Wagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Miasen, Miasen, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan. Miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle today, everybody. So, I always love to start with a smudge, but I just want to talk about the smudge that I have here. So, what I've done is I've actually combined my medicines today, because it's a 4 directions kind of a day. So, normally when I have my smudge, I usually have sage in it because I'm Cree. I tend to smudge with a lot of sage. But I do have my medicines laid out Cree style. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just different depending on what nation you're from, depending on what medicines grow around you, depending on the teachings that you have been shared or gifted. And so just a brief overview of my medicines. I have sweetgrass in the east. It smells so good. It smells like cake. I just love it. Sometimes it smells like marshmallows, but in recent days it's been smelling like cake for me. I don't know what's going on. But it's really about the mind. It's about honoring decisions, honoring our journey, honoring our childhood, keeping curious, and that connection to fire, that connection that we have to grandfather sun, and that masculine energy that surrounds us. And to remind us that we are that balance of masculine and feminine energy. But it's really good for just calming our minds, for helping us learn, for helping us deal with mental pain, mental trauma, for memories. It's really good for that. And I haven't really been sleeping lately, so I've been having some in my tea to help with my insomnia. And so I swear by that. And the braid itself represents our generations coming together, our past generations, our future generations, and our current generation, to remind us that we're somebody's ancestors. So we have to make good decisions, and we have to sometimes help our past generations heal to move forward. In the south, I have my beautiful cedar. Cedar is, of course, to honor our body. It's to honor our physical earth. It's to remind us of the connection that we have to our physical body and our physical earth. Because without it, of course, we wouldn't be here. It sustains us. We breathe out at the same time as the plants are breathing in. So it reminds us of the reciprocal relationship, that we have with plants. I eat really quickly. And so this is really good for physical healing, physical body. If you're having problems with like aches and pains, sore muscles, sore joints, you can boil it on the stove and then throw it in your bath water, and it's amazing. Or even with like skin conditions, it's really good for that. It's good in tea. It doesn't taste good in tea. Some people like it. I do not. I usually have to cut the bitterness with some mint. But it's really amazing. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. I've been having a little bit of this lately because it is also an antihistamine, and it is allergy season. I love the beautiful flowers on the trees, but my eyes and my nose do not. And so I honor this medicine for helping me through allergies and cold seasons. And then the next medicine that we have here, sage. Sage is the women's medicine. It's in the west. It's connected to Grandmother Moon. It's connected to the water. It reminds us of how important our emotions are, because it shows us, how interconnected and how much we love and how much we care for community. So when we have our tears, they're sacred. It reminds us that, we're all connected. We are all going through a lot of the same things. And so it's not about marginalizing anybody or saying you don't feel like that. It's about accepting that and sharing your own emotions as well. It's about relationships and relating to those people, those emotions that are shared, rather than judging, because that's truly what wisdom is. It's about understanding and appreciating and welcoming everybody into the circle, and knowing that even if you don't see eye to eye, that's okay. But you have to come from a place of judgment with open hearts. Or not from a place of judgment, but with open hearts. And so this is why sage is really beautiful in that respect. I'm not going to be picking sage probably until like July, usually like late June, early July, after it goes to seed, because we want to make sure that those families can thrive. And so I'm looking forward to, in July and August, taking people out to go sage picking, because it's really important, and it really does help. It really does help to smudge with sage. And then the last medicine I have is tobacco. And oh, this smells really smoky. And some Kansasa or red willow bark. I have some red willow bark ground up in my smudge here. I have all 4 directions in my smudge here. And tobacco, a little bit of tobacco as well. But the tobacco is really about honoring our spirit. It's about honoring our connection to our spirit, honoring, the spirit within, but also the spirit all around us, reminding us of that sacred breath that we all share. The plants share the sacred breath. The living beings share the sacred breath. All of our relations share that sacred breath. And so it's really about honoring your own sacred breath and your own path and your own spirit, and how we connect to spirit. And everybody connects in different ways. Everybody calls spirit different things, but at the end of the day, it's something that's intangible. You can't see it, just like you can't see the air, but we breathe. We know this. It's the same thing with spirit. So no matter what you call spirit, we're all on the same path together. We're all on that same journey with spirit together, no matter how we classify it. I think us as humans get obsessed with labels, and that's not about labels. It's about being kind to each other and helping our future generations move forward. And so that being said, I'm going to smudge with all 4 directions in my smudge bowl. I've already put them there, and I'm going to take off these earrings, which are very, very beautiful. So I had a pair of earrings that I rarely ever wear, and then a friend of mine gave me a pair of earrings, but the little loops that hooked them in, they fell off and I couldn't find them, so I just kind of married them together and created that. And so that's what I've been wearing. And I'm really thankful. Thank you, Francis, for those beautiful earrings. I need to learn how to bead and how to fix things. So, I know a little bit about beading, but I need to have the patience to do it. And so, again, there's no right or wrong way to smudge, but one thing that you do need to smudge is fire, so give me half a second. Okay. I know I always have extra matches in my drum decks, so probably down here somewhere. Oh. Those are not my medicines, those are Yvonne's medicines. I always kind of laugh. I always have so much stuff, and then when I need something, it's never there. I always have an overabundance. Oh, I think I gave it away. That's probably why. This is why you should always be prepared before you do your live streams. I think I might have extra in my drawer. Sorry, everybody. I have extra here. I have extra here. Yep. Alright. Always prepared. Again, there's no right or wrong way to smudge. It's whatever feels good to you. And the reason I put all 4 medicines together and all 4 directions together is just, I know the world is having a very hard time right now with all the truths that are coming out. And I know this is just the tip of the iceberg. And so as I'm smudging, I'm going to be praying for all of the families that are suffering, all of the people that are suffering, all of our First Nations people who are survivors of the residential school, but also for the children who didn't come home. So I'm going to fan it with my hands. Never blow on it, because our breath is our life and our life is precious. And we don't waste that for anybody. So the first thing I do is I just clean my hands. So anything that I'm carrying, I get rid of. I'm going to bring it over my body 4 times to honor my entire being. Switch my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. My mind has been swimming with thoughts, but to remind myself to check those thoughts and maintain that positive way of thinking, to be able to keep an open mind, and to be able to heal those traumas that are entrenched and those triggers that are entrenched. I'm going to smudge my ears. so I can hear beautiful things, so I can recognize those beautiful voices that surround me, so I can hear all of the messages that Creator sends me, but also to remind myself that I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so I can listen twice as much as I speak. And smudge my eyes, because I'm very thankful for my vision this lifetime, so I may see fully and completely, but also never take anything for just what's on the surface. To remember to follow my heart as well as my eyes, and so my vision is clear. I smudge my nose so I smell danger and cookies and nature, but also to remember that sacred breath. Sometimes when you need to calm down, it has to come in, so you sense that sacredness. I smudge my mouth so I speak only true and kind words that are helpful. I always ask myself, remember, is it truthful? Is it helpful? Is it kind? Is it respectful? If it's none of those things, don't say it, don't do it. If they're not in line with the 7 teachings. I'm going to smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless, so I can amplify their stories. I'm very thankful for the voice that I have, and so I can continue to support community by elevating other people's voices and stories. I smudge my lungs so I breathe good, clean air. That sacred breath that we all share runs throughout my entire being, and to remind myself to be humble and honor that sacred breath. Sometimes when we breathe too shallow, we forget how sacred we are, so we need to take a deep breath in when we do. I smudge my heart so I can remember to be kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all of those around me, to my friends, to my family, to my ancestors, to all my relations around the world, all beings that we are connected to. Smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body. I'm very thankful for the abundance I have. May those that do not have abundance, may they get it in turn. May they be helped along the way, Creator. May you be gentle with them. Smudge my womanhood, because I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time. I'm a 2-spirit woman, and I carry a lot of men's teachings as well as women's teachings. I also carry 2-spirit teachings, so I'm honored with that balance, but I'm also honored with the fact that I have been able to bring children into this world. Smudge my belly button, because that's our connection to spirit. That's where we're connected before we come into this world. That's where we're fed. And this is why all of our teachings will come through our belly button sometimes. That's that intuition, that gut instinct, and that's never wrong. Smudge my shoulders. And my back. So I can carry all of the burdens and responsibilities that Creator's gifted me with grace and humility. Smudge my arms and my hands, so I can do the good work that Creator's put me here to do. Smudge my legs, so I can walk this red road in a good way. And I smudge my feet, so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your body that you need a little extra love, a little extra attention, just hold that in your heart and send that out to the universe. I'm sending that love to BC, love to those families that are struggling right now, the love to my own family as we've survived, love to all of my First Nations, Métis, Inuit brothers and sisters across Canada, and to all of those settlers who are feeling that guilt, to know that guilt doesn't help, but coming together and building community does. That's where true healing comes from. May we be wise, Creator, to know our path forward. We may be strong, to have our heart medicine open. May we listen to Spirit as it guides us. And may my hips be strong for the journey ahead. And when you're all done, you say hi hi, or miigwech, or merci, or grazie, or however you say thank you in your language. Say hi hi and miigwech. And sometimes merci. So I was actually raised French before my dad passed when I was younger, so I have some French language that I do carry with me. I'm just going to smudge my drumstick here. Smudge my drum. I did smudge it yesterday, but I wanted to smudge it again today. Four directions. And so I'm going to share the healing song, just because it's such an important song. It used to be a ceremonial song, and it still is a ceremonial song. We still sing it in ceremony, but when we sing it, now it's been shared, and there's been several elders that have actually gifted it to be shared, because they said now is the time where a lot of truths are coming out, and it's hard. Those are hard truths, and so it's really about honoring that journey ahead. It's about honoring that everyone needs to come into the circle and heal together, and so there's a lot of strength and power in this song to honor that healing journey that we're all on together. We sing it, of course, in rounds of 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel, which are laid out. But the third round, we actually stop drumming. And in that third round, which is the West, that's about our emotions, that's healing. It's asking for those things that we need, asking for the healing that we need in our own lives, asking for the healing that we need for our family, for our friends, for those people in our communities, for the people in other communities that are really suffering, that are hurting, but to really ask for healing for everyone. And then when that drum beat kicks back in, just let all of those, if you want to call them intentions or prayers, those wishes out into the universe, and let Creator, God, Allah, Buddha, the universe, that energy, do the work that it needs to do. And so that's truly what this song is. It's done in a heartbeat, to represent that heartbeat that connects each and every one of us, that heartbeat or that pulse that connects Mother Earth. And every living being has that heartbeat. Even the way that the plants grow, they have their own heartbeat that they grow, and that's how they're connected to Grandmother Earth. So this is the healing song. It's also called the crying song or the wailing song. So if tears come, let them come, because that's important. Let them come out and do the work that they need to do. Hey, 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 oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh. Hey, hey, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh. Hey, hey, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh. Hey, hey, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, way high, oh, way high, way high, oh. I want to share another song. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for my tears. They're important. But I want to share the mother song because this is such an important song, especially for what has happened continuously through colonization, where our children have been taken from our mothers. And in turn, our mothers have not been gifted the ability to raise our children in a good way. They have lost that connection to our teachings. And this just teaches us how important that connection is. And it's not just mothers, it's all our relations. It's our grandmothers and our grandfathers who didn't get a chance to raise their grandkids. It's our aunts and our uncles didn't get that chance to really create connection in the family. It's our two-spirit people who their identity was stripped away for so many generations. They were considered sacred, and then for the longest time they were told that there was something wrong with them. And even in our communities now, there's a lot of deprogramming that we need to do to really come back to a place where we're honoring our two-spirit brothers, sisters, and everyone in between. Because they're the ones who are going to lead us through this fire, which is so, so important. We're seeing more truths come out, and those people have the gifts to connect community and bring everyone together. And myself included, I'm two-spirit, and for the longest time I had shame around that, but now I'm proud of it. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of myself as a two-spirit woman. I'm proud of myself as a knowledge keeper. I recognize the teachings that come through me now, and I honor and respect them as voices of my ancestors, not my own, but the ancestors guiding me forward in a good way. And so I wanted to share this song that actually came to me through a friend. We actually did an exchange, so I shared with her the healing song, and she shared with me the mother song, which just made so much sense for what we were each going through. And so I'm a single mom. I've got 2 boys, and as of a year and a half ago, I took 2 girls in for kinship care. So now I have 4 kids as a single mom, because what's better than having more kids in a pandemic? But it's a gift. It's such a gift to be able to have them in my life, and I'm thankful every single day. Even the days where we fight because, of course, they're all like 12 and over, so of course you're gonna get some teenage attitude, but it's a gift because I think of my ancestors who didn't get that opportunity, or who had that opportunity taken from them. And this is why I am so thankful and humble to live in the time that I live in now, that I have been able to break that cycle of intergenerational trauma with my own children. And I know there's a lot more work that we need to do, but this is my step towards reconciliation, is sharing my teachings. This is my step towards reclamation, is reclaiming our children, and reclaiming our place as parents that unite communities. And so this is the mother song, and in it, it's the mother calling out, the child calling back. And I've done it sometimes where the child actually gets further and further and further away. I have a hard time doing it that way, but I think it's important to do it that way, so you can hear as the child goes further and further and further away. And in that, it's asking. You can hear that desperation in the mother's voice, in that caregiver's voice, wanting to keep your child safe, but not having any control. And unfortunately, there were so many kids that didn't come back from the residential school with no answers. And as a parent, that's devastating. I couldn't imagine losing my kids. And this is why the song's so important. And it reminds us that this is something that happened a long time ago. This continues to happen today, where our children are drifting further and further away from our communities without any consent, and without any control, and without any support. And so we have Residential School 2.0, which is the foster care system, and we need to recognize genocide for what it is, and bring our kids home. So this is Mother Song. Hey ya, hey ya, oh. So I wrote a song, and I think I'm going to share it actually. I'm still learning the words simply because they're Cree, and that act of resilience is taking back your language. And so this was a song that I wrote for my daughters. This literally is called Daughter, and the words in it are Kakiaone, Wakumakanuk, which means it's like all my relations, but it's bigger than that. It's, you know, that everybody is interconnected, everybody is together, everybody's equal, everybody takes care of each other. It's that ideal where, you know, we all honor each other's spirit, we all honor each other's voices, we all honor each other's path. And when we say all my relations, it's like we take care of each other too. And then Sakihitowin, which means I love you. It means I love you, I honor you, I respect you as part of that circle. That you are loved, you deserve love, and you are loved. Then we have Otanisu, which is her daughter. Then Kitanis, which is your daughter. Then Nitanis, which is my daughter. And then Kitanesinao, which is our daughters. It reminds us how we need to take care of each other. We need to take care of all of our daughters and all of our sons and all of our children, but all of each other. And so it's really about honoring how everybody is there together in that circle. And so this is the first time I'm actually sharing this song outside of one circle. And so hopefully it goes well. And again, this song, I don't like to say that I wrote it because I feel like it came through me. I feel like I was thinking about the girls and how much they deserve love and how I want them to thrive and how I want them to do well. And then I think of all the girls that we have lost and all of the children that we have lost and all of our sisters and mothers and daughters and grandmothers that we have lost and how we need to just take care of each other. And when we see injustice, we have to call it out because we are loved. We deserve it. Kakiaone, Wakimakanuk, Sakihitowin. Otanisu, Sakihitowin. That was a song for my girls. So I'm really, really humbled and thankful that they have come into my life right when they needed to and right when I needed them. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm going to share another song that has come through me, which is the Ancestral Bird Song. So I always hear it whenever I need teachings, whenever I'm asking my elders for things, whenever I'm seeing a great loss in the community, or you know, somebody's sharing their story with me. I'm reminded of how important it is to share our stories, and this song has really been instrumental in that. It helped me on the path to share my own stories, which is very, very important. And so, this is the Ancestral Bird Song. I heard it at first through the voice of a blue jay, and then I'd heard it on the breeze with all of the chorus of beautiful birds that come, whether they're in the spring or the fall or in the winter. They all have their own teachings to share with us. They all have their own unique voices, and they remind us to be humble and take the time to listen, because if we do take the time to listen and watch and observe and just be aware, the birds have so many things to teach us, you know, whether it be being playful or whether it be just listening to each other. And so this is just a gift that I've been able to carry forward. And I thank Audrey Lane for helping me kind of unlock this gift. She was like, hey, you want to do this project with me? And, you know, can you write a song for it? I'm like, absolutely, let's do it. And then this song had come to me while we were sitting together in the middle of the Weasel Head, listening to the chorus of all of those birds and the bugs, which bees keep bouncing off me lately. I don't know what's been going on in the last 5 years, but bees like to hit me. Just been like, hey, what's up? It's like they're like knuckling up or something. I don't know what's going on with them. They're like, hey, brah. But yeah, just listening to everything around me, it came through, and I'm just so thankful and humbled that it did. So this is the bird song, Ancestral Bird Song. So I'm calling out to all of the ancestors with this song to help us all heal, to help, you know, those truths be uncovered, but also to help guide us home. Way out, way out, way oh. 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 Go with the theme of sharing my songs today. No, not my songs that have come through me. Not mine. Open. So this song, Aim to Mean a Sweat. This is the Chickadee Song. And it's really about joy and listening to each other. And the story behind this song is a little dark. It's about children getting lost in the woods. Well, not really lost in the woods, not listening to their parents, and then having the sun take them and having the moon take them. And when they lost their shadow on the ground, they lost themselves. But how they're protectors now because they teach us how to listen. And so this is the whole point of, being a bird. It teaches us how to listen. And so the owl teaches us how to listen silently and to sit and to observe with our big eyes. And then the chickadee teaches us how to listen and how to respond appropriately. And so this is the Chickadee Song. I want to rewrite part of it with more Cree words. But again, like I said, I'm just learning my language. And that's my defiance, to relearn my language, even though it was taken from my mom, even though they tried to beat it out of my kukum, my grandmother. It is still our language, and I will reclaim it. And so I can continue to share it with future generations and hopefully with my children. Right now they're teenagers, so they're not interested in anything I do. So, but eventually they will be, and I think they'll be really thankful when we do have some songs in our language, because there's power there. And so this is the Chickadee Song, where you can hear the chickadee calling out. And we're calling back. I'm going to sing it all the way through. Sometimes when I teach it to kids, it's a call and response, but I'm going to sing this all the way through this time. Hop-dee-oh-ho-ho, 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 hop-dee-oh-ho-ho. one more song, and this is the traveling song. To me, this song just reminds me that when you're on the right path, good things happen. And it also teaches us that sometimes that road is hard, sometimes that path is hard. Same with the Thunderbird teachings. It's really about sometimes, you know, we have to walk a hard road to be able to appreciate who we are, to be able to gain the strength, to be able to support other people in our community. And so I know that I've had a difficult life, but I've chosen to turn that pain and that hurt and that trauma into something meaningful, by reclaiming my culture, by reclaiming my teachings, by being able to show compassion and teach and learn in a meaningful way. And so I'm very thankful and humbled whenever I'm able to share um, my teachings, whenever I'm able to be invited into schools or community organizations, or when I'm able just to sit with community groups or with people in community and actually just share those teachings openly. I never ask for anything in return. I do explain what protocol is, but I leave it up to them, because protocol is whatever you're able. And so I always explain, some people, like $10 is nothing. Some people, $10 is their world. And some people, a hug is all they have for protocol, and that's okay too. Because it's really about the gifts that you have and the way that you portray them and you put them out in the world. Because if you keep everything to yourself, it's going to die with you. That energy is going to stop, it's going to stay stagnant, and nothing good is going to come. Whereas when you're giving more and more, you're leaving energy for those good things to come back into your life. And I feel like I'm at a place where everything that I keep giving is just returned and reciprocated constantly, and so I just keep giving more and more and more. But it's a gift, and this song taught me that, you know, those gifts along your path will come back. You might not know it at the time, but even some of our greatest trauma, our greatest pain, is our greatest gift, because it makes us really truly appreciate the path that we're on now. I mean, I always say, like, I got hit by a truck for a reason. I mean, other than the fact, you know, I've had 4 major surgeries, it's put me on the path that I'm on now. So it makes sense that this traveling song would come through that. It was originally shared by one of my elders, Sharon Turner, and I miss her so much. And I think of her anytime that I'm struggling. I think of her words and her wisdom and her kindness and her gentleness and her compassion. And she just never judged, and I think that's truly what an elder is. It's the wisdom to just accept people for who they are, and without judgment, without stipulations. That's what unconditional love truly is. And so whenever I think of this song, I think of that unconditional love that brings community together, that brings people together. And when you share that gift unconditionally, that love returns. And so I'm not saying it's 100%, my life is perfect, but I know that it's a lot better when I'm gifting to the community. And so this song is so that everyone finds their path home. Home within their heart, home through healing, finds their path to wisdom, finds their path to gentleness. Oh, I love you too, Steph. I'm just sending love and appreciation out to everyone who's having a hard time right now. I know I've been holding down a lot of energy for a lot of people. It's difficult, and I'm just so thankful and humbled for people in my life that, you know, I call my family. They're my friends, but they're my sisters as well, and I'm so thankful for that. And so this path is just so that everybody finds their path home, finds their path to healing, and that their journey is gentle. So this is the traveling song. It will be the last song I share. Hi everyone. Chimagwich, thank you for joining me today. It's so good to see everybody. I love everybody so much, and please take care of each other. I know it's been a hard week, and I know it's been really difficult for a lot of people, but just know that you're loved, and don't be afraid to reach out. So, hi everybody. Gwitch for joining me, and I'll see you next week. I'm gonna go cry now. Bye. I love you.